Big breakthrough, wreckage of Pakistan's missing cargo jet finally found. But the mystery is far from over. Debris from the missing Pakistan Boeing 737 discovered near Ormara, as the fate of the crew remains unknown. The mystery deepens as fresh questions emerge over the Karachi-bound cargo jet's sudden disappearance from radar. A major breakthrough has emerged in Pakistan's search and rescue operation for the missing K2 Airways cargo aircraft. The wreckage of Pakistan's K2 Airways Boeing 737 was recovered on July 8, according to multiple reports. The remains of the Boeing 737 were discovered nearly 53 nautical miles south of Pakistan's Ormara port in the Arabian Sea. The debris was located around 12 hours after the Karachi-bound cargo aircraft mysteriously disappeared over the Arabian Sea. However, a massive search operation for the 5 missing crew members aboard the ill-fated flight is still continuing. Pakistan's Navy and Maritime Security Agency jointly located the wreckage in waters off the coastal town of Ormara. Pakistan Airports Authority said, and I quote, "PN and PMSA, after 12 hours of search and rescue operations in deep sea, have successfully located and identified wreckage of K2 Airways cargo B737, which was declared missing last night. The wreckage was recovered from 53 nm south of Ormara." End quote. The exact reason behind the disappearance of Pakistan's Boeing 737 cargo aircraft is yet to be determined, according to reports. A Pakistani cargo plane disappeared off the Gwadar coast, prompting Pakistani authorities to launch a military-led search and rescue operation in the Arabian Sea. Nearly 12 hours have passed since the Karachi-bound cargo aircraft lost contact with air traffic controllers shortly after takeoff, according to Reuters. The Pakistan-registered Boeing 737-400 was operating a scheduled cargo flight from Sharjah to Karachi when the incident occurred, according to initial reports. The K2 Airways freighter was carrying 5 crew members when it reportedly transmitted a navigation malfunction before communication was suddenly lost. Pakistani aviation authorities said contact with the aircraft was lost shortly after the crew reported the navigation-related emergency. Early flight tracking data suggested the 27-year-old freighter may have crashed into the Arabian Sea after disappearing from radar. Geo News reported that the aircraft went missing near Ormara, off Pakistan's Balochistan coast, where search efforts are now concentrated. Flight Radar 24 data showed the aircraft made sharp altitude changes before entering a steep final descent moments before contact was lost. Pakistan's Airport Authority has launched a multi-agency search and rescue operation involving military and civilian agencies to locate the missing aircraft. Authorities said search teams are continuing to scan the Arabian Sea, while the fate of the 5 crew members remains unknown. Fresh panic grips Trump's Arab allies as Iran responds to U.S. strikes with a new wave of military escalation. Air raid sirens sound across Bahrain as air defenses activate in Kuwait amid fresh regional security alerts. At least 4 explosions are reported as heightened security measures are enforced across Bahrain. Bahrain urges residents to remain calm and immediately move to the nearest designated safe shelter. Bahrain Ministry of Interior said, and I quote, "The siren has been sounded. Citizens and residents are urged to remain calm and head to the nearest safe place." Unquote. Kuwait also reports fresh missile and drone threats as regional tensions continue to escalate on July 8. Kuwait Army said, and I quote, "Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting hostile missile and drone attacks." The General Staff of the Army notes that if explosion sounds are heard, they are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Iran accuses the United States of violating the Memorandum of Understanding on multiple fronts through military action. Galibaf says Washington breached the agreement by carrying out fresh strikes and imposing additional sanctions. Mohammad Bagher Galibaf said, and I quote, "Major MOU violations by the U.S. violating Iranian adjustments in the Strait, persistent threats of further strikes, reinstating oil sanctions, attacks on southern Iran, continued Zionist aggression on Iran. The era of bullying and extortion is over. It leads nowhere. We don't fold." Unquote. The US has hit Iran after attacks on vessels in Hormuz triggered a dangerous new escalation. Strikes have rocked Bandar Abbas and Qeshm as Washington launches a retaliatory response, according to reports. The US military is said to have targeted Iranian air defenses along with missile and drone sites. The Hormuz flashpoint is deepening as Washington strikes Iranian targets near the vital waterway. Explosions were heard across southern Iran after the US military launched its strikes. Pezeshkian is heading back to Iran from Iraq as the US strikes send shockwaves across the region. US Central Command says the strikes were carried out in response to attacks on 3 commercial vessels. US Central Command said, and I quote, US Central Command forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The US strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Unquote. A tanker was struck by an unidentified projectile while transiting the Strait of Hormuz, according to UKMTO, raising immediate alarm in the narrow and strategically vital waterway. UKMTO said on July 7 that the vessel suffered structural damage in the incident, but there were no casualties reported. No pollution or environmental impact has been reported following the incident, suggesting that the tanker's cargo and fuel tanks remained intact and that there has been no oil spill into the surrounding sea. UKMTO has launched an investigation to determine the cause of the strike, focusing on what kind of projectile was involved, where it may have originated, and whether it forms part of a broader pattern of hostile activity. Ships transiting the strait have been urged to exercise caution and report any suspicious activity, with maritime authorities calling on captains to maintain high situational awareness. This was the 3rd such incident reported near the critical oil choke point on July 7, underscoring a worrying cluster of events in a single day.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.